Wellness for Life is brought to you by Back in Motion Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mahabi Atwa Community Action Partnership, Lakeside Sports and Pain Clinic, and Thomason, Swanson, and Zahn Attorneys at Law.
Hello, I'm Matthew Kaufenberg, physical therapist and owner of Back in Motion Physical Therapy in Perham, Minnesota. Today we're going to talk about one very specific muscle. This particular muscle is very important in preventing various aches and pains that many of us can have. This particular muscle is called the gluteus medius. The gluteus medius muscle, now a lot of us have probably heard of the gluteus maximus muscle. The gluteus maximus muscle is our butt muscle. The gluteus medius is actually underneath the gluteus maximus. So if we're looking at someone kind of from the back here, so this triangle is just representing our pelvis, and then this would be our hip coming down, this would be the knee, and then coming down to the foot. So the gluteus medius is actually a fairly small muscle directly underneath that gluteus maximus, or the butt muscle. So it's a small muscle that starts from the pelvis and it comes down onto the outside of the hip. Its main job is to stabilize the pelvis when we walk. So when we walk, we want our pelvis to be very level. So with every step I take, I want my pelvis to stay level. So if I take a step on my right, my pelvis should stay level on the right. What I don't want to happen is when I take a step and land, I don't want that pelvis on the right side to actually shift up. If we had no gluteus medius, the pelvis would shift up every time I took a step. So it's the job of the gluteus medius to hold that pelvis level. Now if the pelvis doesn't stay level, a cascade of things can happen. So this other drawing is going to kind of show what potentially could happen. So if I'm walking along and I land here on my foot, on my right foot, and if the pelvis shifts, the first thing that could happen is it could create an inward curve of our spine. So my spine could shift like this. If my spine shifts that way, I'm sticking a ton of pressure on the inside of the spine, and eventually you could end up with degenerative changes in your spine. If my pelvis tilts, I'm going to significantly stretch this muscle, this gluteus medius muscle. Directly underneath the gluteus medius is what is called our hip bursa. And that bursa, if it gets stretched and compressed, it could turn into what's called bursitis, so you could end up with some significant pain on the outside of the hip. If my pelvis tilts, this long bone in our body, this thigh bone, it's called the femur, the thigh bone could actually rotate inward. And if that rotates inward, it puts a significant strain on the inside of my knee. And I could end up with some degenerative or arthritic changes on the inside of my knee. The final thing that can happen if the pelvis tilts, it could cause this inward turn of the thigh, which causes stress on the inner part of the knee, which then actually causes an outward turn of my shin bone, which then causes significant problems at the heel and at the bottom of the foot. So weakness in the gluteus medius can create back problems, it can create hip problems, it can create knee problems, it can create heel or foot problems. It's an incredibly important muscle. Now the really cool thing about the gluteus medius is that it's really easy to train. It doesn't take much to train it, and there are just a couple of very simple exercises that we could all start today to keep our gluteus medius strong so that when we walk we don't have this cascade of problems. So the easiest way to strength train the gluteus medius is to actually lie down on your side. So I'm just going to demonstrate that very quickly. So I'm going to lie down on my left side, and that would be strength training my right gluteus medius. So when we lie down to do a gluteus medius strength training, what you want to do is you want to be directly on your side. You want your knees ever so slightly bent. The really, really important thing with this particular exercise is you want to actually be right up against a wall, and you want your heel to be touching the wall the whole time. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your heel up against the wall, and you're just going to raise the leg up as high as you possibly can, keeping the heel on the wall. and then you're going to come down halfway, and then you're going to go back up. And you're just going to repeat that motion. The heel on the wall makes sure that you're working the gluteus medius. If I'm doing this exercise and all of a sudden my leg starts coming forward, I'm working a completely different muscle. So it's really important to keep the heel on the wall, go up as high as you can, come down halfway, go back up. You do that 25 times. After 25 of those, you bring the leg all the way down, and then you just go up halfway and back down, and up halfway and back down. You do that 25 times. And then you finally do a full motion 25 times. That's the easiest way to strength train our gluteus medius. You do that upper 50%, that lower 50%, and then the full motion. If you have any questions, there are a number of different ways to strength train the gluteus medius. Please give me a call at 218-346-2464.
Coming up on Wellness for Life.
Hi, I'm Lauren Risbroot with Mojave Ottawa Community Action. Right now we're in our Detroit Lakes office. I'm based out of our Fergus Falls office, but I travel all over. I'm a certified MNSure navigator. So that is the Minnesota State Health Exchange, Health Insurance Exchange, that people use to get insurance. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And so that's it's sort of an umbrella term that we use for people that are on medical assistance or MA, Minnesota Care, or if you do qualify for just like a regular health plan, you can potentially get some financial assistance. It's all based on income. There's no asset tests. It's specifically for people 0 to 64. Unless you're on Medicare, then you cannot utilize MNSure at all. But I am here to help you through that process. I, do the online application. We make an account, we do the application. I help with follow-up and questions. And like right now is MNSure open enrollment. It's from November 1st until January 14th. They've shortened it up a little bit this year. But if you want coverage by January 1, you have to enroll by December 20th. If you are on a state program, so either medical assistance or Minnesota Care, you can enroll any time of the year. But if you need some financial assistance for the premium for the qualified health plan, you can only apply during open enrollment unless you have a qualifying event that is outside of open enrollment, such as having a baby, getting married, you move. So like let's say you move from the cities to Detroit Lakes or like the Lakes region, that would qualify you for a special enrollment period. Or if you have an income change, so let's say you decide to retire in like May of 2018, that would qualify you for a special enrollment period. So if you just have a question, just give us a call here at Mojave at the office, and I'll probably be the one that answers your question. So I just kind of wanted to go over like the yearly income amount for specifically a single person and then also a household of 4. So medical assistance is a little bit different because it does go by the federal poverty guideline, so it's a percentage. So a single person cannot make over $1,336 a month, and a family of 4 cannot make over $2,726 a month. For Minnesota Care, for a single person, it's $24,120, and for a household of 4, it's $49,200. Now, for an advanced premium tax credit, which is a chunk of money that helps offset your monthly premium costs, which is anywhere from I've seen it depending on like your income and where you live, and also if you're male or female, it can be anywhere from like $700 off per month up to $1,500, just depends on how many people are in your household. So the most a single person can make to still receive financial assistance would be $48,240. And then for a household of 4, it's $98,400. So anybody can apply on MNSure. It's just whether or not you do receive financial assistance. And so I think that's the biggest misconception is like people say, oh, geez, I can't apply on MNSure. And you can. And we can absolutely do like a comparison tool with you, or if you just have like a general question, just please call the office here in Detroit Lakes. It's 218-847-1385, and Barb at the front desk will be able to connect you with me, and I am available by email as well if email is more comfortable for you. So it's just lrisbrood@mahubby.org, and I'm in DL like quite often, at least once a week, if not like twice a week. So, and I am available in all 5 of our counties, so Mahnomen, Hubbard, Becker, Otter Tail, and Wadena. And I go to Perm as well if you prefer that. So thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about MNSure a little bit. But if you have any other questions, just please call our Detroit Lakes main office at 218-847-1385.
Thank you for watching Wellness for Life. Brought to you by Back in Motion Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mahubby Ottawa Community Action Partnership, Lakeside Sports and Pain Clinic, and Thomason, Swanson, and Zahn Attorneys at Law.